Hello, so I'm Jonathan Pilkington. I'm talking with Leslie Brindley and Alex. I never know how to say your name. I say Koshaba, but I know that's not right.
It's a little aggressive. It's Kashaba. Slow it down a little bit, but that's
Okay.
it's good. It's good.
Okay. And so we are all travel advisors, and we're all graduates of VCTA, which is the Virtuoso Certified Travel Advisors program, which is a pretty intense week of courses that's followed by 6 months of follow up calls. Um, and we learn a lot in that program. And so people who've been through it are kind of connected in that way. So this is kind of an offshoot of what I started as a podcast during the pandemic that's still going on. And but I'm going more for the visual effect because I think we like to see pretty pictures and faces. So when COVID hit, pretty soon after, we started talking weekly and just talking about how we're going to get through and what we're going to do, how we can help each other. And we all sort of ended up in interesting places. So that's why we're together today to talk about what we're doing and how we see the future going and um, just getting our ideas out there so people can hire us and make us rich. So, so Leslie, why don't you tell us a little about you first? Just
Sure.
basic before we get into the business.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. I live in Minneapolis and I've got two kids and a husband, and I've worked in marketing my whole life up until I discovered how much travel really means to me and how much it means to my family and the connections and experiences we're able to have together through travel. And my marketing background obviously has been a huge help through this, through building a business. I think that is I like to watch TV. I like to read. I like really interesting IPAs and figuring out like what's next, what's good, and where am I going to go next. Those are all my favorite things.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
it might not have been as in depth as you wanted, but
No, that's
that's
great.
nutshell.
Perfect. So Alexandra.
Yeah, no, I got into travel after spending most of my 20s out in Los Angeles in the entertainment business. Um, it was great, but this is better. Getting to work with my friends and my family and my clients and helping them, make their dreams come true is the best type of job in the world. And let's see what else. Got married last year. Today I went skiing with my husband. Oh, we live outside of Chicago, so it was more of like an ice hill than like a mountain, but that's okay. It worked. And yeah, just trying to pass the time in the Midwest, outside. Gonna go see the ice castles in Lake Geneva next weekend, so that'll be pretty cool.
Wow,
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
So I guess I should say something about myself. So I am originally a singer and voice teacher, and I live in Atlanta. I'm still a voice teacher and singer, but I split my time between that freelance and being a travel advisor. Um, the original idea was that with that was just to fill the gaps between the lessons that I teach. Um, because passion is a travel is a passion. And it has become more of a passion since I started working in it. Um, and the VCTA thing really, I think, helped kind of define that for me. So that's it. Um, so as I said, we all ended up in different places than we might have expected, like 9 months ago. And I think our conversations had a lot to do with sort of guiding that. Um, so, well, let's just keep going in the same order. So, Leslie, where have you ended up?
Where have I ended up? Well, I am happily an independent contractor with the Gifted Travel Network. They're just an amazing group of women who started it, and they're entrepreneurs. They have really their main goal is to support travel advisors as entrepreneurs, and that's such an incredible focus. They do so much training, and I've learned so much from them. Supported in every way. It's a real community, and feels great. Just like when we went to VCTA, and we, there were 18 of us, and it felt like a community where we could all learn from. There weren't any dumb questions, and you actually felt that. And it's just a joy to learn in that kind of environment. Before COVID, I was just kind of plugging along with, some original clients that I had. Just trying to figure out what was next. Like, what was my ideal client going to be, and where could I actually make a difference with what I'm like if you look at it, like each one of us has a gift, like our own spin on travel, and what can that be, and how can you bring that to the world. And it was taking me a little bit longer to figure out what that was, probably partly because I get so wrapped up in like the preciousness and the marketing and the branding of it all. I'm not really great at just jumping in and taking it and that with my own things, so it's taken a while. But after joining up with GTN, I have figured things out. I worked with a friend of mine who is a designer to create just a really cool branding language for everything. I've named it Palmer Studio. My website is taking forever for me to get done. My goal is like within 2 weeks. And it feels really good. And my goal is to work with people who just want to have the coolest experience and learn something about themselves. I think personal growth is such an important thing, and I don't know that many people look at travel as a fountain of personal growth, be it connections you've made, places you've learned about, history and culture, and honestly what you learn about yourself, pushing yourself. If you've never gone skydiving, or you've never been skiing, or you've never just scared yourself, and then you've come back to your real life and thought, I scared the hell out of myself, I know I can do that now, what's next in my real life? And like applying the fact that you are able to push yourself and learn something new, I think, to your everyday life is really cool and meaningful. So that's where I'm pushing ahead, with trips that just scare the hell out of you or fill you with joy, or just you get back. And one of my favorite quotes from my favorite artist, Hans Sloman, is, I never got over the experience. So that's what I want to bring to people.
Yeah, I like that. Nice. Okay, so Alex.
Yeah.
What's your current situation?
Yeah. Real quick, Leslie, you have to let us know when Palmer Studio is live, right? When it drops.
Well,
Yeah,
it's taken me forever.
I have to tell the world. So, no, let's see, pandemic. I think the most important thing for me was kind of like more leaning into what I wanted out of advising. And I realized that it was, really about people and talking to my clients throughout the pandemic. It's like not just this transaction, not that it was before, but even more so now, like, you're calling people to check in to see how they're doing. It's not, to sell them anything. And I think, not necessarily ironically, but, it's funny to see that you get to know people so much more that way. Just checking in and getting to hear what they're going through and what this means, the pandemic, is to them. So anyway, like, back in March when this started, like, I had no idea what to do or what, the future would hold. But I reconnected with the agency that I started at, shout out Travel House in Barrington, and Eleanor Nelson. She's wonderful. She's been doing this for a really long time, and she knows what she's doing. And, you know, more than anything else, she cares about her clients. So it was, you know, where I learned everything that was important up until VCTA about doing this. And, you know, to reconnect with her and to be back there, it's really nice. I grew up in Barrington. It's where I'm from. It's where I, you know, live now. And it's nice to have a sense of community, especially in this crazy time. You know, to be around people that think like you, it's been wonderful. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, good. And so I have ended up at an agency here in Georgia, and it's called Big Creek Travel, and it's good. The owners are very supportive and interested in my growth and how I can help them grow, and they're interested in my ideas. But I absolutely agree that we think more about the relationships with our clients and talking and listening to them and figuring out what they want to do and what they're dreaming of, and also maybe what they need that they don't know they need. And I kind of think that's what sets us apart from the old-fashioned travel agent, and part of what we learn in Virtuoso and VCTA. So that's what I'm doing, along with teaching voice lessons still. So then the next question is, what do you see as the changes in the travel industry that are come as we move forward?
Alex, do you want to take it first this time?
Sure. You know, I think getting to know what people are afraid of is really important. You know, everybody's going to have something that worries them going out into the world again after this. And, you know, being on top of that, figuring out, you know, what everything you need to know about, you know, whether it's the destination or how the air on the airplane works, right? You have to know your stuff, and you have to know your clients. So for me, you know, doing my homework is going to matter more than ever, I think, moving forward. And, you know, really, really having a conversation with people about, you know, what they're looking for. You know, what they're not looking for comes from that conversation, you know, and really taking the time to double check, you know, if you're not sure, to go back and say, hey, you know, I did have this thought about this. I feel like being honest and upfront about things is going to be the best way moving forward. You know, because now more than ever, you know, you have that gut feeling telling you one way or another. I think you should act on it. So.
Yeah, I love that about everybody's going to be afraid of something, and it's true. I just, you know, part of one of the things that I'm going to be doing is putting together some groups to lead with, you know, hopefully one of my goals with that is going to be helping people like conquer their fears of travel, or at least alleviate them in some way. So, you know, we can be the experts and help them navigate what it looks like to travel during COVID and a global pandemic. And so maybe, you know, one day they'll feel comfortable going on their own if they don't already. And then, like you said, Alex, I think there's just so much more granularity to putting together a trip now. Like, what does that look like when you leave? What does it look like for you to come back? And it changes every day. So just, you know, it's just, you know, they can't just go on their trip and you hope, you know, maybe those things are sorted, and we'll have to stay vigilant on all of those at all times. And that's new.
Yeah, it is. So I'm going to Costa Rica in a few weeks, and I mean, part of me doesn't want to go because of all the mess I'm going to have to deal with, honestly. Because there's insurance to get into Costa Rica that you have to purchase, and then I'm going to rent a car, which requires other insurance, and then the test to come back. But I think part of the thing always is the thought of doing a thing is worse than actually doing it.
Totally.
So, yeah. So I think I'm doing it come hell or high water pretty much, and we'll go through the experience so that I will be able to guide my clients better. But also I think the other thing for me is like we have all these fears, but also there's like and all these things we cannot do right now, but there are things we can do. So I love always looking at possibilities instead of limitations. Because as far as I'm concerned, any travel helps.
Oh.
Helps my mindset, my what's it called, mental health. Yeah.
Mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. Both. Okay, then. We don't have a lot more questions, so I hope this has not been too hard. You're doing well. So, what the next thing I want to know is maybe it's the same two questions in one. What's your dream trip to plan, and kind of like what are your ideal clients, or just somewhere along those lines?
Sure. My dream trip to plan is Egypt. I want to, I mean, I personally really want to go. But yeah, I would love to plan Egypt just to see, you know, all of the amazing things there and cruise on the Nile and just take it all in. My daughter was learning about ancient Egypt just you know, about a year ago, and she just came with all these things and we're like, we got to get there. So I mean, that's going to be amazing. I think my ideal client is I kind of nodded to it earlier, but just someone who, you know, just wants to grab onto life with both hands and just have an experience, you know, whatever it may be, but push themselves and have it be something that changes them for the better, and they will always remember for the rest of their lives. Like, I want it to be an experience. So that's my ideal client.
Great. Okay. Good answers. Okay. So Alex.
Well, it was Egypt. No, I'm kidding. I do want to go there, but no. I'm torn between two. I think. Okay, so I think ideal trip, is this to go on first, or is this to plan?
Yeah, just like the type of work you want to do.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter either way. I would love to plan a gorilla trek in Rwanda. I studied, anthropology in college, and the connection that humans and animals have is astounding, and it's something that's always been, Leslie, terrifying to me. To go, but at the same time, it's that experience that I want to help people have, whether it's gorillas or something that makes them feel the way that I feel about it. That's my demographic. People that, whether it's taking it to the next level or realizing that fear is something that is always going to be there, but it's not something that should stop you. That's the type of client that I like to work with. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm not even sure I know the answer to my own question. But I think that is having experiences that, well, so the whole title of my podcast is just beautiful experiences. So to me, that involves a certain level of luxury, not necessarily pretension, but just good service and beautiful places and great meals and food. like all these things are a must. And then whatever comes along with the location, just delving into it. Whether it's a mountain town in North Georgia or Paris, like understanding the place through the experiences there. The food, the music, the beauty, the nature, all that. Um, yeah, I guess that's my answer. Then, okay. Uh, what what is your favorite destination in the world, or where would you like to go if you could go anywhere right now?
Well, I'd love to go to Australia. I haven't been yet. I really, really want to do that. I want to go to the Great Barrier Reef. I want to do a post Australia in Fiji. I want to do it all. I want to be gone for like 6 weeks and take the trains and do all. I want to do all the stuff. I'm going to the Big Island in 7 weeks though, and I've never been there yet. Going with 2 other families. There'll be 13 of us. Rented a couple of villas. I'm gonna do it up. Really, really excited to see a volcano. So yeah, I'm just really glad to be getting out again. Take pictures and share that, and hopefully get people excited about like it's still there for you. So.
Right. Yeah, that's super exciting.
I think, let's see. Favorite place right this minute, I think. Montenegro is a beautiful, incredible little place, little world. Yeah. So I think that's the favorite today. I would love to go to India.
Yes.
Spend like a month, and if I had won the lottery, I didn't, but if I did, I would have hired a private guide, the very best guide, to just take me to all of the places by charter jet, and do it all and see it all. I have a lot of friends from India, and I have a lot of clients that have been, and everybody just says that it's the most incredible place in the world. So I think that might be next on this list.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's on my list pretty high too. And there's a show on PBS right now that's so good about India. I can't think of the name. I'll let you know later.
Oh.
John, is it Barrett House? Anyway, so I guess the answer to my own question is I love the south of France. But I've been there once, twice. But I guess Croatia is the place that I keep wanting to go, that would have probably gone this past summer, but didn't get to. So other than India and Australia, I mean, those are all great places too. So, so bonus question that I didn't tell you about. So since this is...
He tricked us.
Yeah. Since it is just beautiful.
We did. We had surprises.
When you hear beautiful experience, what comes to mind? Like, what's the first thing you're like, oh, I'm in this place doing this thing?
I think for me, it's knowing I'm someplace else, someplace different and new, and it smells different, it feels different, and it's just sort of intoxicating to be somewhere completely new on every single level. And to me, just the vast difference of cultures and people, and that's a beautiful experience to me.
I'm trying to come up with an answer, but I'm going to go with the first thing that popped into my head when you said describe a beautiful experience. I had a group of clients on a crystal cruise, September of 2019. It roamed to Venice, and we planned it for a really long time. And We did a couple days in Rome, but we had got through security when we got to the port, and we were right outside the Serenity, and I was standing, right there about to get on the boat and the ship. And I just got this like feeling, in my chest and in my throat and in my eyes, and it was just like overwhelmed with emotion. And I think that's all that came out of my mouth. It was just like, this is the most beautiful feeling I think I've ever had. And experiences like that. That's the goal.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I love to cry about where I am. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the first thing that always comes to my mind is just being outside not necessarily on the street, but maybe in a garden or on a cliff, having a great meal with great lighting and beautiful things around with great people. Really anywhere in the world. That's one of the big things I long for right now, actually. So, yeah, that's it. We'll do it again. So good. Okay, then the next thing is where do people find you?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I need to get my website done, which is just terrible. It's just terrible. But you can find me at Leslie. You want me to give me my email? I don't really know, or else you can do a follow-up when my site is up.
I'm going to second the motion for the follow-up. You have to have us back.
Okay, that sounds
I'll give you official details in a week or so.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that because I want it to be really great.
Sounds good. But what's the name of your company? Leslie, like Palmer.
Oh, Palmer Studio.
Palmer Studios.
Palmer Studio. Yeah.
I should know. Okay.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, we'll talk again soon.
Thank you for having me.